Hey everyone, Bradley Stalder here with Player Profiler, and I'm here to bring you week winning stats for week 4. So let's jump right into it. The first is looking back on week 3 and noticing that Keenan Allen had 18 catches in week 3. And look, this wide receiver landscape is pretty wild. Only 13 players have managed to catch more than 18 passes this season. And leading this group is Keenan Allen. His 18 from week 3 certainly was a wild statistic, but it's clear that he's in store for more. And unfortunately, the Chargers, they suffered a massive blow with Mike Williams tearing his ACL. He's out for the year in that victory over the Vikings. Now, adding to this intrigue, Austin Eckler is officially doubtful for week 4 due to his ankle injury that he sustained in week 1. But it's not just that Keenan Allen has this potential to continue to step into a massive role. It's also that he has a really good matchup. Nate Hobbs, the slot cornerback for the Vegas Raiders, has allowed the second most number of receptions of the slot and the most yards after catch this season. Given the circumstances, it's hard to deny that Keenan Allen is primed to be a top 5 wide receiver this week. And certainly you can toss in some Josh Palmer. You can take a dart throw on Quentin Johnson, but I'm not confident in Quentin Johnson. Josh Palmer, probably a volume wide receiver 3, but nothing spectacular. That's how we should attack the LA Chargers wide receiver core, is that it just means more for Keenan Allen. Number 2, T. Higgins has only caught 38.5% of his targets. At the moment, it's advisable to keep T. Higgins on your bench. The primary reason for this is the uncertain state of Joe Burrow, who's clearly not at his best given the calf injury. And that's definitely affected Burrow's ability to throw the ball down the field. To put this in perspective, Burrow is the 3rd worst quarterback in the NFL when it comes to passer rating on attempts of passes 20 or more yards down the field. Plus, T. Higgins' yards per route run is a disappointingly low number. It's less than 1.0, making it one of the worst among the NFL with receivers with 20 or more targets. He also has the 2nd highest drop rate among those wide receivers. Given that combination of Burrow struggling to throw the ball down the field, T. Higgins struggling himself, it's difficult to start T. Higgins with any confidence until we see Burrow return to health and Higgins put up consistent performances. And to make matters more challenging in week 4, the Titans are pretty tough. In particular, Sean Murphy-Bunting, one of the Titans' qualified defensive backs, has fewer fantasy points per target than all but 6 of other cornerbacks. Now, he's expected to spend most of his time covering Higgins, which is why this is a big deal. Not only is Higgins struggling, not only is Burrow struggling, but Murphy-Bunting has only allowed 40 or more receiving yards once in his last 12 games. So this is a big deal. Looking at this bigger picture, like, could this game be a shootout? Probably not. The Tennessee-Cincinnati matchup, the game total over-under is 41.5, indicating we don't think that this is going to be a big-time shootout. Maybe we'll get a rushing score and a passing score from the Cincinnati Bengals, but that's probably what we're looking at. And for Higgins to have a breakout game, he's probably still going to be bench worthy. And you should be looking at other potential flex options more favorably than T. Higgins in week 4. And the 3rd week winning statistic that is going to propel you into fantasy goodness is that Ramondre Stevenson has only 1.8 yards after contact per attempt on the season. And we've got a mixed bag from Ramondre. He was being drafted as a back-end running back 1, high-end running back 2, with some fantasy analysts claiming he could be the running back 1 overall. Well, yikes. It's not been that way for the first 3 games. In 2022, he consistently achieved impressive yards after contact per attempt. Only one game last year did Ramondre Stevenson have below 1.8 yards after contact per attempt. That's his season average right now, is 1.8. However, at the start of the season, he struggled on the ground, and despite having 2 weekly finishes of top 20 among running backs in PPR scoring, Stevenson ranks RB 52 in true yards per carry. And what's particularly puzzling is he's running back 32 in terms of stacked front carry rate. So defenses are not committing extra personnel to stop him when he's running the ball. And yet he's been unable to capitalize. Like, it's crucial to know that Stevenson is trying. Okay, so he's trying to make things happen, but his true yards per carry is terrible. He's trying because we know based on the juke rate. He's running back 2 overall in juke rate and running back 7 in total evaded tackles. So he is making a good faith effort on the ground, but still not running well. And while there's potential for improvement, it's worth noting that he hasn't finished higher than running back 13 in any game, and every single game he's had at least 18 touches. So he is getting massive volume. He is making people miss. He is trying to juke them out, but his true yards per carry, adjusted for offensive line play, is not great. So isolated by himself, Ramondre Stevenson is trying hard, but not executing. Adding to this complexity is Ezekiel Elliott, who he had 17 touches in week 3. So Stevenson is getting capped by Ezekiel Elliott usage. He is not rushing well, even though he's trying really hard. So as we look ahead, like, instead of viewing Stevenson as a high-end running back 2, we need to downgrade Stevenson to outside the top 20 of running backs, considering Devon Achane and James Conner as plays ahead of Stevenson until further notice, given Achane's ceiling and Conner's high floor. So as we enter week 4, we find ourselves at this crossroad, right? Many of you are 3-0, especially if you're listening to Player Profile and been following these stats. Some of you are 0-3 and you're watching these types of videos for the first time, and this is an opportunity to make some lineup adjustments. But seeking those hidden gems of statistics can help elevate our teams to victory. Keenan Allen has emerged as a beacon of hope for those who drafted him in round 3 or round 4. T. Higgins has busted for us, especially because of Joe Burrow's struggle. And as we consider our lineup decisions, remember that it's all about finding the right pieces to the puzzle. In the world of fantasy, sometimes the unexpected leads to triumph. So keep your eyes on the numbers, make those strategic choices, and may your week 4 fantasy journey be filled with touchdowns and glory. Good luck in week 4, everyone. Make sure you hit that red subscribe button if you like this content and you found this helpful.